It's spring break, we've got 5 parks to visit, so let's get going. We'll spend the week camping at Crater of Diamonds, but we'll tell you more about that park later. On our first full day, we headed first to Poison Springs State Park. This park doesn't have a visitor center, but there is an area where you can mark your Arkansas State passport. Just bring a pencil along. This location marks where a Civil War battle took place, and there are other battles that took place around the area. You can read about it on the plaques, and there are signs posted on the bulletin board that tell more. There's also a trail that you can walk, but the sign told us that the trail was closed for maintenance. After that, we drove a few miles down the road to White Oak Lake State Park. The visitor center here actually has several items on display that were found at Poison Springs that date back to the Civil War battle. Before starting out on any trails, we enjoyed a picnic lunch in the nice cool spring weather. The Spring Branch Trail is an easy trail to walk as it took us through the woods and along a creek where we could breathe in the fresh air and listen to the birds. Our girls love a playground, so we spent time playing with them on the playground. It's one of the things they most look forward to at all the parks that we visit. This lake is well known for its fishing, and so Colin fished with the girls, and the visitor center even had a rod that our youngest could use. You can see she's excited here. We got back to our campsite at Crater of Diamonds in time to start cooking dinner and of course to go for a walk around the campground. The next morning we ventured the cold, rainy weather to go dig for diamonds. Crater of Diamonds State Park is one of the only places in the world where you can go and search for real diamonds, and you get to keep whatever you find. It's located on the eroded surface of a volcanic crater, and you can search for a variety of rocks, minerals, and gemstones, and you get to keep whatever you find. You do have to pay a small fee to enter, and you can bring your own tools or you can rent tools from the park. We worked for a bit in the cold rain, but then decided to take a break, and so we went inside the visitor center to check it out. On display, they have one of the rarest diamonds in the entire world. A woman found it in 1990, and the state of Arkansas raised money to buy it back from her. You can also see a photo of the diamond Hillary Clinton wore to her husband's inaugurations. And yes, we have a diamond on our Arkansas license plates. After reading about the family that discovered diamonds on the land and the history tied to this area, we went back to our campsite for rest and for lunch, and then we came back out to keep working. We brought our own digging tools and bucket, but we did rent this sifting screen. You can do dry sifting like you see us doing here, and some people even walk across the land and just find diamonds laying on the ground. There were actually several diamonds that had been found in the several weeks before and after our visit. It seems that most people have the most success when they're doing the wet sifting that you see here. It removes that layer of dirt, and hopefully the good things, the good gems and diamonds will come to the top. Park staff will go through your findings and help you identify what you found. We mainly just found volcanic ash, sadly no diamonds. So while we didn't hit the jackpot, we still had a good time digging in the dirt, and we ended our night with dinner and another walk around the campground. The next morning we got up and drove to Daisy State Park. We hiked the nature trail for about half a mile. A lot of the trail was flooded because this area has seen quite a bit of rain this season. Daisy State Park sits on Lake Greason, which is also known as the Narrows. I came here a few times when I was a kid camping with friends. We left Daisy and moved on to Cossatot River State Park. The park interpreter let our girls feed the turtle, which they absolutely loved, and they got to feed the crayfish, or as we like to say, crawfish. This visitor center is a great resource for learning about the area. It's time for another picnic lunch, so we have the energy to hit the trails again. We hiked the Waterleaf Trail down to the river, and it felt like we were walking through a scene of Lord of the Rings. We drove to the Harris Creek trailhead so that we could check out Baker Creek. The next morning, my parents drove up to Crater of Diamonds to spend the day with us. We walked the trail from the campground to the visitor center for them to check out the area. Then we walked the Little Missouri River Trail that's also located within the campground. Half of the trail is paved, and it takes you down to the Little Missouri River. The other half of the trail is not paved, but it's still an easy walk, and you see these creeks winding in and out and leading to the river. After walking back to the campground for lunch, we headed into the town of Murfreesboro to check it out. We drove over to the community of Billstown to see the gravesite of musician Glen Campbell. And then we had dinner at Pinky's Diner in the town of Delight. When we got back to Crater of Diamonds campsite, we took a walk along the Wildlife Observation Blind Trail. We didn't see any wildlife, but we did see some animal tracks. We ended the night with a campfire, and our camping neighbors gave us some packets that would change the color of the fire. We were supposed to have one more day of adventuring after this, but severe weather came to Arkansas, and so this was our last night to take it all in.